It was just a dangerous condition to be working in. I think 12-hour shifts were regular.
The fact that American companies are turning to children to address our nation's labor shortage is a national disgrace.
You may remember looking at these photos in your history textbook of young kids working in factories during the Great Depression and thought, what a barbaric time. That could never happen today, right? Well, unfortunately, that may not be the case. Minors employed in violation of the federal law are up 69% since 2018, according to the Department of Labor. And in February of this year, a federal investigation found that 102 children as young as 13 held hazardous overnight jobs cleaning slaughterhouses for a food sanitation company. The company stated many hires resulted from identity theft, and that they have since strengthened their screening process. Meanwhile, 6 states this year have introduced bills that roll back regulations on child labor. Iowa and Arkansas have passed them. The Iowa bill signed into law on May 26th increases the hours that kids 14 to 16 can work from 4 to 6 hours during school days and allows kids 14 and up to work in previously disallowed areas such as industrial laundry services and meat freezers.
It simply is providing our youth an opportunity to earn and learn at the same time frame as their classmates do while participating in sports and other fine arts.
There's academic research that suggests that when kids work more than 20 hours during a school week, that their grades drop, their school completion begins to plummet. And we really just don't want kids to sacrifice their futures for a temporary gain.
So, why are states rolling back regulations around child labor laws? The primary justification for these bills has been the labor shortage caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. A lot of older workers either chose to retire or were pushed into an early retirement. From February 2020 to May 2023, the labor participation rate dropped from 63.4% to 62.6%. That's 2.1 million missing workers. Latest data shows 10.1 million job openings with 3.7 million unemployed people in the US right now.
We definitely don't believe that you can balance a labor shortage on the backs of vulnerable teen workers. We think that's a horrible mistake.
So are we headed back to an era of widespread child labor and exploitation? Well, a federal baseline around child labor was established with the Fair Labor Standards Act in 1938.
When New Deal happened, the Fair Labor Standards Act came about, we got a lot of worker protections, and it eliminated many forms of child labor, but it left these glaring loopholes for kids who work on farms. It allows kids to work who are only 12 on farms, and they're allowed to work unlimited hours as long as they're not missing school.
The concept of working long hours is not an abstract one for Jose Velasquez Castellano.
I started working in tobacco fields for the summer I was 13, and I remember it being so hot. I didn't like being there. I wanted to be back home playing outside like my other friends, or just at home, just laying in bed, just somewhere, just not in the fields. I think 12-hour shifts were regular. When morning dew comes around and tobacco is wet, and if it seeps into your skin, you're starting to feel a little bit of the nicotine effects. And then as the day progresses, you're getting nicotine poisoning. Basically, my family just needed the money, most so me, because I was growing up and we couldn't afford the things that I needed, like school supplies. My sister, she's 11, going to turn 12 next year. I could not imagine her working in agriculture. It just makes no sense.
On June 12th, Representative Raul Ruiz of California proposed the Children's Act for Responsible Employment and Farm Safety.
It would raise the age at which child farm workers can work from the current 12 years old to at least 14. It would also raise the age at which kids can do hazardous labor on farms from 16 to 18. So it has really important protections.
I think if there was an actual labor shortage, which there's a lot of other forms of human capital that we could be using.
We hear a lot of farmers saying they're having a hard time finding workers. Obviously these meatpacking jobs, they're having trouble as well. If you have immigration reform, you can allow more adults into the country that want these jobs. We definitely like to see some of these jobs improved, both in wages and in safety. But if it comes down to teenagers or adults doing somewhat dangerous work, we'd rather see adults do it.
The United States has a really high undocumented immigrant population. A lot of immigrants who have been just cast away and just ignored for a while that are more than capable of like working if it comes to it, and a lot of them are seeking just like work authorization.
The fact is, the quickest and most sensible way to address the labor shortage in our country is to fix the broken immigration system.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.